members who planned this whole forum. How was it?
Thank you. It was fulfilling. We knew that the program was going to be a success even before the day. The Friday before the Easter week, that's on the 11th of April, I happened to have gone to Kwahu as part of the recce to meet some Kwahu local FM station management to discuss what was about to happen the following week and the need for support and collaboration. And to my utmost surprise, at Ago FM, the management told us that OPK, that's David Sopoko, as the MP for Impraiso, had in the morning before my arrival in the afternoon gone on air to canvass for Kwahu Business Forum and asking all Kwahu businessmen and businesswomen to look for it, and that the Chief of Staff has announced in Accra that the President is coming and they should all gather there and meet the financial institutions for a deeper collaboration. That, for me, a week before the Good Friday, portended to me that the program was going to be a huge success. And 5 days to the day itself, the ticketing had been oversubscribed. We had to shut down the website column that had to deal with book your ticket here because we could not contain the numbers. So,
well, then let's start with attendance. You had the IFC, Exim Bank, African Development Bank. I'm sure you sent out invitations to all these entities and they came. What does their presence do to the forum? And mind you, it started as a John Mahama thing, NDC thing. Now, because it's a ruling government, or it's the party in government now, it has a more nationalistic approach to it. What does the presence of these international banks and financial institutions do to this forum?
It speaks volumes as to the capacity that the Ghanaian business community have, which we are yet to let it come to light, that in holding a business summit in Ghana, you can attract international financial institutions to be in attendance, to engage with the business community, to show them their new policies or products for which the Ghanaian business community can take advantage of. For example, it came to light at the program that the International Finance Corporation of the World Bank, IFC, has new products of giving not less than $5 million facility to businesses that have PPP arrangement with the government of any country. So even if you have Sweetie and Daughters Company Limited and you have a contract to do with the government of Ghana, you can appeal to the IFC and get support to execute the contract and people. So all these came to light and they were beautiful. African Development Bank was there to also open up their space to the Ghanaian business community. We attracted businesses that were even beyond the Kwahu enclave, even though the original idea was to attract the Kwahu businessmen. Last year it was, purely Kwahu businessmen.
I'm actually curious. Why Kwahu? Why Kwahu business for? Why do you go all the way to Kwahu?
Okay, as the president explained, this whole concept came up as a result of a discussion between the president and his chief of staff last year. Yes, Honorable Julius Zebra, that the president wanted to celebrate Easter in Kwahu, but he wanted to also have some meetings alongside. And then the chief of staff then brought the idea that why don't I mobilize all my Kwahu business people together and have a business summit, discuss their challenges, and you write down those that you think you can find solutions to the problems. And so as soon as you become president, we then begin the steps towards the resolution of the problems. So that's how the first Kwahu Business Forum came about. Now, the man is president and his chief of staff is the chief of staff. So it now takes a public, outlook. So now public interest has to be put in place. And that's how come that he had a minority leader, Fanyo Makin himself, in spite of his rabble-rousing in parliament, be in attendance and advising how entrepreneurship must be, excluded from partisanship. And that the country stands to benefit if business is separated from politics and partisanship. And having all the MPP, MPs, and MPP members, financiers all coming around. And having businessmen from Ashanti, whatever, all being attendant.
So let's get into the meat of the issue proper. In terms of the fallouts from the forum, let's start from the president. Some of the statements that he made about bridging the gap between businesses and banks.
That's right.
Exactly what does this look like? And what gap is it hoping to fix?
Okay. Currently, the financial institutions in the country have their policies that they design through management and they roll it out. Businesses have their interest as to how they can be able to take some of the funds from the banks or the financial institutions to also roll out their business interests and make some profit. Now, there's been always a clash as to what the products of the banks are and what the business interests are. After every AGM, annual general meeting, here of the high interest of high cases of bad loans and all that, and businesses are being charged or being accused of not being responsible. People take loans they don't want to pay. Even Momo, people take Momo and they don't
change their numbers.
Yeah, they change them and they don't want to pay and all that. So there's a need to bridge the gap because every country needs the private sector to be bubbling in order for the country to have the economy growing steadily. Government cannot do it all. So we need the private sector to come in. Private sector also need the funds of the banks in order for them to thrive. So here the president's intention is that last year, parts of the problems that you listed included lack of access to funds or flexible funds or cheap funds. So here's the case. I'm bringing the banks closer to you. Have interactions. You have the whole day and 2 days to talk, to interact, and get the banks to start the process of coming up with new products that will meet your needs. So during the interaction, the forum, part of the thing that it came up was that some of the traders, especially those in the Bafusukai and so on, want the banks to relax the time which they start collecting their proceeds. So they want a moratorium. That I've come for a facility of, say, I came for 2 million Ghana cedi to do a certain business. Then following month, after collecting the money, I don't need to have to pay you something out of the money that you have given me.
Because it's just a month after.
Exactly. But that's
couldn't have turned it around in a month.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is the problem. So they are saying that, okay, can we come together? Let's say that you give me 6 months. 6 months, I will have, even I'm importing car parts from South Korea or China or Japan. The 6 months, my product will have come. I will have cleared them at the port using your money. I will have brought them to my shop at Abusukai. I will have started selling.
Yeah. And whatever seed I sowed, it should have germinated.
And then I can begin the process. Yeah. So they want a certain moratorium. That's a new thing that came up, and which the chief of staff, in fact, the president directed in his closing remarks delivered by the chief of staff, Honorable Julius Zebra. The president directed that the economic advisor, Honorable Setekpe, must take responsibility for the outcome of the Kwahu Business Forum and ensure implementation of policies towards that.
Which means these fallouts, these highlights are going to be translated into policies.
Yes, so the government will going forward, engage the banks behind the scene as to how to arrange the moratorium, whether it's 3 months, 6 months, a year, and how government can come in to cushion the gap so that the banks will feel confident in allowing the moratorium period to come in, or whether government has to come in to give the bank some guarantees before the moratorium will be granted, and then the business community will have the flexibility of administering the funds that they've taken from the financial institutions. And then by 6 months' time or 3 months' time or whatever that agreement will be, they can then begin paying back the facility.
I'm just curious, before I go on to the next question, how was the reaction of businesses when these came out? Like even the president directing that it should be translated into a policy and all that. How did they react to that? Oh,
it was a good news for the business community. They were looking for it. Look, there was a young man who had a certain business proposal of doing irrigation farming and all that stuff, and he spoke at the forum. Immediately, the Minister for Trade, Industry and Agribusiness immediately adopted him.
When you say adopted him?
Adopted that Agric Development Bank at the forum, adopted him based on the minister. In fact, Agric Development announced it and the minister supported it. And he was quickly adopted and his documents were taken immediately. That's
a success story for you.
Kwahu Jackson was sitting in there when it happened. Okay. I'm sure you have footages for you very soon. And immediately that gentleman's vision of going to agric and agribusiness began the process of materialization. So it's been overwhelming. All the videos that we have seen, the banks themselves looks like they were craving for an opportunity like that to meet the business community. Yeah. Where we are not having a trade fair per se, but we are having a fair of banks, businesses meeting, looking at what you are doing, you looking at what products we have, and the one that suits you for it to be tailored towards you. It was a beautiful program.
What kind of businesses attended? And I'm asking this because the world of work has evolved. What typically would be called work or business a decade or two ago is not the same. These days we have social media influencers who created a whole business out of their digital presence. And we have the gig economy where someone can just call you, like we presenters, to do something for me. It's not really a business until you formalize, you've registered with GRA and all that. Did you make provisions for these types of evolving businesses at the forum?
Yes, the forum opened up for people with business ideas, people with fresh thinking into the space, for them to try to meet the banks and for the banks to turn their ideas into bankable projects. So the idea was for the banks to listen to young men with some of these fresh ideas and see how they can bring them in, coach them, and then give them how the procedure for which reason they will follow to get access to funds.
Turn an idea into money-making entity for you. So you had some of these, new forms of workers. Or
your colleague, Kwahu Jackson, followed one of them. They were two young men with an IT software engineering, product that they wanted to pitch with the banks. And Kwahu Jackson followed them through, and it was in a documentary. Maybe I'm taking the wind out of his sail. But he followed them through. His plan was to follow them through to the end and get to know what, and want to do a documentary for you guys.
We can't wait to see it. Now, something Akpenyuo Makin said, that will be our final angle for the conversation. He's talking about depoliticizing entrepreneurship from politics. Like decoupling politics from entrepreneurship. Do you think that that's one of our challenges in this country in terms of entrepreneurship and how we hope to thrive and become the drivers of the economy? Is that an actual problem?
Yes.
Tell me more.
Antecedents of this country have been businesses suffering as a result of being seen as anti-government. The military era, from the first military coup, some businesses suffered, and that culture continued until recent past, where democratic dispensation came, and then yet within the democratic dispensation, people's business are targeted. They use all manner of technical reasons, some flimsy and all that, to deny them their licenses to operate or to shut them down for a reason or the other. Now, so Akpenyuo Makin's statement that we must take away politics from entrepreneurship is spot on. I hope that the mood that the President John Mahama has created for free expression, for free enterprise, will continue, that we will not have a revocation of a license of any company for no just cause. Any revocation that must be done must be of, prime,
justified.
Public interest, and that we will support. We hope that Akpenyuo Makin, in the near future, will stand by his words and ensure that any attempt by his side of the political divide to witch hunt any business, he will stand up to it and protect the interest of the business. That way, every businessman in the country will have confidence to reinvest his money, and then the country will make the profits thereof. It is the business community that will continue to expand and employ. When they expand and employ, they will pay taxes to the state. The young men and young women on the streets will then be put into work. And they will get their monthly income or bi-monthly income, be able to take care of their parents or their wives and their children, so that we will not have such social challenges thereof.
I hear you on that, because I know some young people who are just starting up with their own businesses, and they are scared to death to, declare support for one party or the other. They want to remain as neutral as possible, because you don't know who's coming in next and what they might do to you just because you're affiliated to another party.
Exactly.
Well, I think it's a good thing you're doing. It's commendable. So you're sure that this is not political, it's not an NDC thing, it's nationalistic, and it's going to stay even beyond this current administration's term?
Yes, that was one of the promises that Afenamakin made, that he is giving his assurance that this is apolitical and that the next MPP administration will continue with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish you all the very best. What will be your final word for us as we wrap up?
We hope that the Kwahu Business Forum will not be the only business forum in the country. We are hoping that other business fora will come upstream, so that we connect more with the banking sector. If you look at how our market women especially get facilities to do their business, they are going to the Shylocks in the system. And because of some barriers that the banks themselves put, collateral and all that, all those things, that inhibits their chances of getting facilities for them. So you want to bridge the gap, gradually. Yeah.
So when's the next one?
For now, Kwahu Business Forum 2026 will come on.
Okay, we're looking.
The president has promised that.
All right. Benjamin Esuman is a member of the working committee Kwahu Business Forum, and we're just putting out some highlights from that forum and the second edition, which was a success according to him. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.